What's up guys, name is Ray and welcome to another Genshin Impact video. You see those 35 crit damage? In today's video I want to show you how I do god roll my artifacts. So for god rolling my artifacts, I don't want to make this a guide video like how you should do it, but I want to explain to you how I did achieve all those rolls. So of course this is like one exceptional roll that needs a lot of luck. But if you maintain and if you make it consistently, you also can consistently get good rolls. So I'm not only talking about a 35% crit damage. You can also get like something like this, 70% crit damage and 6.6% crit rate, which is also really solid. So what I want to explain to you is how I usually do roll for my characters. So for number one, I want to use Child because he is my main character, one of my favorite units in the game. Other than that, I can then swap to all the other characters and show you their artifacts. So I want to just show you real quick those stats from my Child and yeah, how you can achieve those. So the most important thing is motivation and consistency. So as dumb as it sounds, but this is one of the most important thing to get you this done. You only can get good artifact rolls if you commit into it. If you really have the passion to make your character stronger than ever. So this is number one, the most important fact. Then the next thing is try not to farm different things. This is another tip that I can give you. Always stick with the character as long as the full set is not done yet. So this is how you can improve your efficiency. So if you have like two characters that you want to build, then don't try to build them at the same time. Do it by one by another. So for example, I recently just pulled the Luke. After I pulled the Luke, I still had to farm these artifact set from Child. So what I did do is I just farmed the artifact sets from Child non-stop until I was done. And after that, I started to build my Luke. Yeah, I think these are like important things if you want to go into some good artifact rolls. So now, if you want to talk about specifically artifact stats, then you want to farm you want to of course have every piece at least once, which is obviously. But the most easiest pieces to upgrade are the flower and the feather. Reason of that is because their main stat never change. So what you only want to get is most characters do need crit rate and crit damage. It is like 90% of the characters in the game currently need those two stats. So if you have one piece with crit rate and crit damage, definitely go for this. So as you can see, like on this piece, I do not have crit rate. When I upgraded it, it only has 3 of the substats, and I was hoping to get some crit rate. So what we usually want to do is I pick, for example, this flower. It has HP, crit damage, crit rate. So it has exactly those two stats that I would need for my character, because you really want to have crit rate and crit damage. What I usually do then, but I won't want to do it in the video right now, is I want to upgrade it to +4. So try to get all the 4 substats. So don't upgrade a artifact set until you know all the 4 subsets. So as I said, it is easiest for flower and feather. You still need the RNG. So sometimes you get all those other pieces easier than those stats. But usually for me, flower and feather are the easiest because these stats never change. Because flower is always HP, feather is always attack. So what you want to roll for is for the subsets, as I mentioned. So this one has crit damage, crit rate, and it could potentially be better than this one. So I may want to roll this on a later. Okay, I said I didn't want to do it, but let's do it right now. So what I usually want to do is I want to get this done to +4. Okay, I think I messed it up. So I recently upgraded a lot of my artifacts. That's the reason why I don't have any. So okay, let's start off with making this +4 real quick and see what the 4th stat is. So what I want to have is like attack percentage, elemental mastery. So that's because I would give that to Child. So try to only put it until +4. And now let's see what the 4th subset is. It is energy recharge, which is fine. Now you can see, where's this piece? Now you can see all the 4 stats. So now, for example, I have this one. This one had HP, crit rate, attack percentage. So I was hoping to get crit damage on this piece. So usually if this piece still can turn out really good because you can get crit rate, but you want to have at least 2 perfect stats on your artifact set, if not 3. So for me personally, this is a decision that you have to make yourself, but I personally say 2 good artifact stats are fine. If it is crit damage that goes very high, I'm fine. Or if it is crit rate that goes very high and the other stat is like HP attack, depends on the character, I'm fine with it. So this is something that you have to decide for yourself. But like in the case for this piece, I'm like unsure, or I think it won't have the potential to be a good piece because it only starts off with 3.1% crit rate. So the thing is now it will be only good if it goes everything into crit rate, because I have 3 death rolls on that. But let's say you have 2 good rolls like this one. We have a 50% chance to get a good roll because we can roll into crit damage and into crit rate. The other 50% which be HP and energy recharge, which we don't want to get. So what I usually would do now is, if I have dropped like a new set that is +0 and has already 2 good subsets, let's say, where do I have one? Yeah, let's say this one. This has crit rate, crit damage, already 4 substats. So what I usually do is I feed those pieces into the other pieces. So I don't want to do this, but I just want to demonstrate. So what I usually do is, because this has already 2 good subsets, I put in one of those pieces, then I enhance and I see what I get. If it goes like crit rate and crit damage, then I would go further. So what I usually do is I feed pieces into other pieces so I can see like the development of my pieces, how they evolve from time to time. And that's how you increase your chances. So usually you always want to have the 4 subsets. That's number 1. After, of course, the commitment thing and so on that I explained at the beginning of the video. You want to see all the 4 subsets. When you saw all the 4 subsets, you want to have at least 2 good subsets for yourself, which are mostly crit rate and crit damage. Now, after this, you want to level them up to +8 to see which stat goes first. Now, I would upgrade this now. If okay, let's upgrade this right away. If one roll goes into crit damage or crit rate, I will go to +12. If it doesn't, then I would stop, at least for now. Okay, so what we want to do now is we want to feed some random pieces to see how this goes when it is +8. And we would only go further if crit rate or crit damage is increased. Okay, so let's see what we get. Alright, crit damage got increased. So, because we had one of those 2 subsets that we wanted, I would go further and upgrade it to +12 now. Okay, so what we want to do is, of course, upgrade this to +12. And yeah, let's do that very fast, and then I want to explain what I would have done if crit rate or crit damage would not increase, or if it won't increase for now. Okay, it is now very important which stat will go up. Because crit damage is now at 50%, which is very high, the artifact set is already pretty good. But if we can increase crit rate or crit damage, then this one will be insane. So I would only always upgrade until it is +12 and won't put in any, like the bare minimum. Always try to put in the bare minimum to get to the next random bonus upgrade. So what we want to do now is upgrade, and we got crit rate. Okay, that's now pretty insane. Okay, that I wasn't expecting to have so much luck now in the video. But usually, if this would have not increased crit damage or crit rate on +8 or +12, then I would take this piece and feed it into another flower. So let's say I have another HP flower with crit rate and crit damage. Then I would use this flower to feed it into the new piece, because then I can increase the chance. So if you upgrade to +8 and this one hadn't had the 4th substat before, then you still have +12, +16 and +20. Usually you want to stop at +16 if your set isn't already god rolled. So this one is now +12 and has some god rolled artifacts. So even though now, if it goes into HP or energy recharge, I didn't waste too much of my resources, and this piece is already so good that I can use it, and it will even outshine this one very fast. Yeah, so that's very easy for like the flower. For other pieces, it is way more difficult. So let's say for the timepiece, because for the timepiece, you specifically for child, you want to have attack percentage and you want to have crit rate or crit damage on the subset at least one. So for the timepiece, I won't be too picky. So I would say try to get a timepiece with at least one subset that does affect your character. So for my case, it is crit damage, elemental mastery, and flat attack are useful. Defense is pretty much useless on him. For the goblet, this is the artifact piece that you can't be picky with. So you really have to take what you get. You want to have a hydro damage bonus piece for child. Let's say for Diluc, you want to have a pyro damage bonus piece. But you can see like, okay, this is like not the best example, but you can see like for Diluc, my substats aren't too amazing. Or for Kaya, they're only 5.4 crit damage. Because you can't be too picky because you really, those pieces are really rare. So for those three pieces, you can't be too picky. Same for this one. For this one, I would say the general rule is get the main get the main stat and at least one substats. But for feather and flower, I would say get the main stat because the main stat never changes and get at least two substats. All right. Hope you guys did understand that. Hope you could help you out with the explanation for that. Now, what you could potentially do other than me is, let's say you would have upgraded the flower until +8 and energy recharge would have gone up. Then I would still give it another chance and upgrade it to +12. But if then crit rate and crit damage didn't upgrade or didn't go up, then I would stop. So you really have to know when you have to stop your artifact upgrades. But if crit rate or crit damage wouldn't go up by +12. This is like the latest part where you really want to have one of your two subsets to go up because you have a 50% chance to have one of those stats upgraded. Then I would really stop. Yeah, that's already it. So let's summarize this a bit. Commit into one character when you artifact farming. For our flower and for feather, you want to have at least two subsets that are good, which are mainly crit rate and crit damage. For timepiece, for goblet, and for circlet, you want to have at least one substat that is good, but you want to hit the right main stat, which is crit rate or crit damage, depending on how the other stats for your character go. For goblet, of course, try to get what you have, upgrade what you have. And yeah, last part is do not upgrade further than +12 if your stat or your wish stat doesn't got up. Then stop and use this piece and feed it into another. You will lose, of course, 20% of your artifact farming, of your artifact pieces, but you will lose much Mora, and Mora is very rare. So rather give it to another piece that you will likely use than to have a piece that is dead in your inventory. Yeah, guys. I hope that wasn't too confusing. I hope I could help you out a little bit with your artifact rolling. So I actually got pretty lucky on that one. So let's upgrade this to end the video. Yeah, if you guys did enjoy today's video and I could help you out with like the artifact farming, then definitely give this video a like. So yeah, I don't want to feed in those pieces. So in the last days, I really upgraded quite a lot of artifacts, and that's the reason why I am pretty broke now on 4-star and 5-star artifact pieces. So I just want to get this up to +16 to see, because we have already two very good rolls. Definitely want to swap that for the current flower because it has 6% crit rate, 15.5% crit damage. So this is now really godly roll. So we get it until +16 and then we end the video. Alright, yes. Like, comment and subscribe. It would help me out a lot. And I'll see you guys next time. If you guys want to see more Genshin Impact content, videos should pop up on the screen right now. Make sure to check them out and I thank you for your support.